Hey Capricorn, we're going to talk about you and Pluto. You have been carrying Pluto for the rest of the zodiac for 15 years. Thank you for doing your duty and your service. Now you can retire from carrying Pluto. So put Pluto down and feel the relief. Pluto is now moving into another part of your chart, out of your sign, into Aquarius. And in Aquarius, it will not feel so heavy to you personally. I do have to say that for a lot of Capricorns, you've developed so much self-assuredness. You've been working on your own identity, feeling strong in who you are, developing self-confidence, facing and confronting fears about you over these 15 years. Usually though, with Pluto, there's like some degree of fleeing from and not wanting to see yourself, the dark corners of your psyche, not wanting to see certain things about yourself. But usually by the end of this cycle, you have confronted, you've grown, you've evolved, and you're a much, much stronger person. But it wasn't always easy. And you did have to confront some big fears, regrets, look at some of your behavior, own some stuff, and now you've moved through it. Now Pluto's going into an area of your chart. First of all, the energy is much lighter, not so much because of the area of the chart, but because it's in Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign that is the polar opposite of you. Your energy is very dense and heavy. You're an earth sign. You govern things below the surface of the earth, rocks, tectonic plates, volcanoes, magma, just iron, you govern like these really dense materials that are heavy. Aquarius is the polar opposite in terms of density and heaviness, because it not only is it an air sign, which is just intuitively lighter, but also space and the universe, the solar system, zero gravity, very, very different. And it's a faster energy, just like it would be if it's less dense. It's a faster moving, particles moving more quickly in air, in space. And so the energy is so different. So even though we're still dealing with Pluto and you're still dealing with Pluto, the energy that Pluto is in will behave differently. And Pluto will behave like Pluto, but with a different flair. It's like a new, kind of Pluto's decided to dress differently and behave differently, a little bit different, like have a new personality while it's in Aquarius. It'll still go through cycles. It'll still help you confront your fears, but it will have this kind of a weirder, wackier energy. And we've seen this in the world around us, how things just seem weird. People seem weird. Political parties seem weird. Like there's a wackiness to what's going on in the world. It's that energy, but it's also brilliant energy. There's strokes of genius in Aquarius, great flashes of insight, brilliance, really stepping outside of your comfort zone, bursting through boundaries, glass ceilings, whatever, there's no boundary with Aquarius. It bursts through boundaries. It permeates through boundaries. It's boundaryless. So you may sense some issues with boundaries, but what you'll find is you can't control boundaries anymore. The idea is not to think of boundaries. If you think of boundaries now, which a Capricorn is likely to do, Capricorns love a good, strong boundary. But now, Pluto in Aquarius makes it harder for you to establish certain kinds of boundaries. One will be your money. Boundaries in strong relationships like marriages or partnerships, boundaries will be harder. There won't be, this is mine, this is yours, but this is ours. So if you did in a business or in a partnership, have that kind of sense of this is mine, this is my banking account, this is my possession, this is my house, that's yours, this isn't yours. That boundary is gonzo. Like, you just won't be able to, and this might be healthy for you. I mean, you do always want to make sure there's no illegal activity or something like that. You want to make sure people are being ethical, including you, but others, you want to make sure that things are ethical. But there's more hours. So you may well go into a partnership with another business or another person, where you're sharing the business and the money making, you're sharing the expenses of the business, and it's hours. And it's much harder to say, oh, this is just mine. And this, again, will be challenging. It'll make you feel scared sometimes. It'll test your ability to do this in a business setting, but also with anybody who's like a spouse or a long-term love relationship. You're going to have the same thing around spending and earning, and this idea where it's more a communal pot of money to be spent, and everyone gets to decide where the money's spent, their votes. This is more grassroots in nature. Aquarius is very grassroots and egalitarian. So with concern to money, even personal money, it's more of a communal voting kind of situation. And if you do go into business or in your business world, how you make money, there's the same principle of grassroots hours and not yours and mine. So for you, I think the learning curve is just a comfort level with that, because you are very much a Capricorn who is about, this is mine. Here's my line in the sand, don't cross it. So this is a whole new vibe in the areas that I talked about. So spending, earning, and with people you're in close relationship to, it's more like, this is our money, not my money, not your money. So there'll be a learning curve. You've got 20 years to learn it, but this will be a common theme that you'll be getting used to and learning and getting stronger at. You'll be stronger at this egalitarian communal approach. You'll get better at this. At first, though, you'll probably feel a little challenged. Pluto can bring power and luck in a weird way financially. Entering the second house, you may suddenly get a lot of money, an opportunity to make a lot of money, power. People are noticing you and your skills. So that could be really good for your career. Sometimes, though, and you may have been feeling this over this past year, it's like you have to get rid of and destroy, even like the word destroy kind of counts. Destroy an old version, like an old idea you had around making money, and so that you can create a new idea around making money and spending money. Destroy an old way of spending money and spend money in a new way. So you'll be learning some new skills around both earning, spending, and how you deal with boundaries around possessions and the flow of anything material, and kind of working, like if you do get into a partnership, a love partnership at any time between late November 2024, moving forward for 20 years, you'll be working on these issues of hours. What is hours? And moving away from a tendency you have from birth by design to be like, this is yours, this is mine. Now, there is a place, even in close love relationships, for some separation, for boundaries, but you'll have to work on how to do that. And, Capricorn is traditionally like mine, mine, mine. This is my boundary. And in the areas I've been talking about, that won't be as possible, won't be realistic. You'll likely be forced to have to do this in a new way, and it'll just be a learning curve. But you'll come out stronger in your relationships. You'll come out stronger financially. So this is a really good cycle in terms of career. You're gaining power, earning power here. So the good news is you're gaining earning power, and you're gaining the skill of how to be in a close-knit relationship in the world of material goods. How to think about it in a new way that works for everyone. It has to work for everyone, and that's the thing that's going to be new. Like, you know, what you want to do with the money has to work for everyone. How you want to spend the money has to work for everyone and benefit everyone in the system of whatever, whether it's a business partnership and or a love relationship. And this may be new for you, challenging for you. You're on a learning curve, but just think of it like an adventure. And that it will benefit you ultimately. It will benefit you because Pluto is asking you to learn this lesson. The more you fight it, the more Pluto is going to hurt these systems. It can hurt your business. It can hurt your relationships. So you have to kind of lean into this new way of doing things for you to thrive in these areas. So there's a bit of like the universe is saying, okay, you got to learn these lessons. If you fight it, it's not so great. If you lean into it and work with it and accept that this is your lesson, then you do much better. So that's the best advice. But the main thing, Pluto, thank you so much for carrying Pluto. You did it for the rest of us. And now you can put it down. The sense of responsibility or having to be the grown-up in the room, you can set that aside. Somebody else has to be the grown-up in the room. You're not the only grown-up in the room. You're not the only one with responsibility. So you can lighten your load and your sense of what you have to be responsible for. Let it go. Let it go. All right, take care.